Yo, what is happening, guys? Undisputed Flux here, and today we're back for another Undisputed podcast, and as always, I'm back with Shay.
Hi.
We'll start off usual. We already know what the topic is, but we'll start off usual. Did you do anything interesting in your week?
We had multiple COVID scares in work. No, we have multiple COVID scares in work.
Yeah.
So that's what's happening.
And then there's me. There's no point in me telling you because I've done the same thing I've done every week. Aside, actually chill more and just actually just take more time to chill and watch a bit of Netflix. That's the only difference I've done. So,
fair enough.
I've done the same thing as I do every week because I'm a fucking
Yo,
robot.
you always need a break.
Because I'm a robot. But yeah, we already know what the topic is and we'll talk about it here. We're just going to talk about Cobra Kai because I watched it, told Shay about it, Shay's watched it, and we need to discuss it.
Yes.
So, we'll talk from season 1 to season 3 first. We'll go from 1 to 3. Okay, so 1, what did you think of 1 first start?
1, I thought 1 was actually fucking excellent.
You've watched the first 2 Karate Kids, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So, no, obviously, this is why
I've watched the first 3. I've watched 3 of them.
Oh yeah, no, you've watched 3 of them now, but you only watched 2 of them, and then I told you to watch number 3 for season 3. I said, well, you watch it after season 3, but I said watch it so you understand a bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, what was it? Oh yeah, no, season 1, it was literally what I liked about it, because Cobra Kai started 2018, I think. Probably 2018, because I'm pretty sure we had to wait a year for season 2 and then we had to wait a year for season 3, because I remember after watching season 1 I was pissed because I had to wait a long time for season 2, and I watched season 2 and I was pissed because I had to wait even over a year for season 3 because of COVID, so I was even more annoyed.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, what I liked about season 1 was obviously Daniel and Johnny. Out of all the Karate Kids, number 1's the best. I don't care what anybody says. To me, number 1's the best. That's the one that's cemented as the best. And I don't think you can get any better villain than Johnny. Johnny's just I love Johnny. He's great.
Oh no, he's fucking decent.
But I like the way it literally puts you on his side of the story, because even me and my brother Jason was talking about that, because he always says, because me and him, we always think way too much in the shit. He even said, he goes, you always wonder, because obviously Karate Kid moves on and you see what goes on in Daniel's life, but he even said, he goes, I always wonder what happened to Johnny, even though it wasn't a big part of the story. He was like, he was the best bad guy and I want to know what happened to him. And I'm like, yeah. And all of a sudden Cobra Kai gets released, announced, and I think I said it to him, but he literally heard of it. No, I think he heard about it from his mate, and I said it to him at the same time. We were both like, "Oh my god, Cobra Kai!" And then it shows you from fucking Johnny's side, and it literally, I said as well when I first watched the first season, I was like, I hate Daniel now, because I'm like, it shows you Johnny's side, and I'm like, I always cheered for Daniel. I always liked Johnny as a bad guy, but I always cheered for Daniel, of course. And now I look at Cobra Kai and I'm like, I don't like Daniel as much, because I'm like, he's a bit of an asshole. And he didn't mean to be, but he was still a bit of an asshole. And then it's like,
I know, he was fucking.
I like him in the Karate Kid movies, but in Cobra Kai, well, I do like him in Cobra Kai now. But at the first season, I just had a real despise for Daniel, just for the fact of the way he's well off and Johnny isn't. He was just rubbing it in Johnny's face and it was pissing me off. I even said to Jason, I said, I want to see Johnny versus Daniel one last time and I want to see Johnny win. And I said, because anybody who watched Karate Kai movies, even though Daniel won, I goes, Johnny was the better fighter. And I like the way Johnny brought up, he goes, you won by an illegal face kick. And I'm like, well, you did, because you're not allowed to kick to the face. So you did. You're not allowed to kick to the face in tournaments.
Well, then again, though, in the movie, though, remember Ali said to him that anything above the belt is legal? Does that not mean that the illegal face kick was then legal?
No.
No?
Nope.
How come?
Because you're not allowed to kick in the face. At that point, if you're allowed to just go for their face, it's just a fucking street fight. There's no skill. That's the reason. Like, that's why it's a karate tournament, and that's why there's referees, because it's supposed to be clean. It's not supposed to be sloppy. If you're allowed to hit anywhere, if you can hit someone in the face, you might as well be able to hit someone in the dick. Like, it's just as bad. I'd probably rather you hit me in the fucking dick just as well as I'd rather you punch me or kick me directly in the face if you're a fucking strong punch. So it's like, it wasn't legal, so he won by an illegal face kick.
Well, that's
why I always said, watching that back, I'm like, you won by an illegal face kick. But obviously you're a bass towards Daniel, so you didn't say anything, but you're like, that shouldn't have been allowed. But
because you wanted him to win anyway, so you're just like, it's cool.
So you were kind of just like, I don't care if he cheated, and now I'm kind of like, you cheating bastard. But like, those season 1, it was basically the build up to show you where Johnny went, his life, and then show you where Daniel went. And then it obviously introduced like Mikhail, Sam, Robbie, which I actually want to what I actually want to talk about is because obviously we'll have to take a break in between this discussion because it'll be a long ass discussion. But the first thing I want to talk about is the characters. I just want to ask you. Obviously, you like Johnny. I assume you like Daniel.
Yes.
Yeah. Mikhail.
Oh, I love Mikhail.
Robbie. This is the one I'm actually interested in seeing the most. Robbie.
I actually really like Robbie.
Okay.
So
okay. See, everybody.
Like him.
See, everywhere not everywhere, but like, most places I've seen. Like I said, you know what I said before? I can't remember what it was about, but I said I saw more negative reactions than positive. And I said maybe it is more negative, or maybe I have just seen the more negative side and less positive side about it, so I think it's more negative. I've seen more negative about Robbie's character than I've seen positive.
Oh, really?
And maybe he is popular, but by what I've seen, my experience, I've seen a lot of negative. And I'm like, I understand, in it, he's an asshole. But that's the role he's supposed to play. Robbie is literally Johnny when he was a kid. That's what it's representing. For people that don't understand that, I'm like, if you look at it, what Robbie's doing, that is literally Johnny, because well, first off, he's being manipulated by Kreese. Johnny got that. Johnny's a shit dad to him, and Johnny's dad was really shit, and that's why he went under the wing of Kreese. Now Robbie is under the wing of Kreese. And he's always in trouble doing this and that, and I'm pretty sure Johnny's mum was an alcoholic or something like that as well. So it's literally just like, the point is, he's supposed to be, what I perceive it anyway, what I see it as is, do you know why it's a new generation, where they're passing down Cobra Kai to like Mikhail and all? What I see it as is literally, Robbie is Daniel, because he's going for all the same things, he's rebellious issues, and he's Johnny's son. Mikhail is more of Daniel, but that's the confusing thing, because you're like, Mikhail is on Johnny's side, but I think it's season 3, when he's looking at the cars and Daniel looks at him, Daniel literally looks at him, you're like, he does remind you a lot of Daniel, because he even looks like Daniel when he was a kid. He looks like him. Yeah. He's the same attitude, bam. Like, it's kind of just like you watch Karate Kid 3, so you understand that Terry Silver manipulated Daniel into joining Cobra Kai. So it's kind of just like, Mikhail is good, and he has good intentions, but he's been taught wrongly, the way Daniel was at one point. And then Robbie is following in Johnny's footsteps. So it's literally just like, you have the actual ones, and then you have the next generation of exactly the same thing. I don't know if anybody else is taking it like that, but that's why I'm taking it as, because Robbie is literally Johnny's son. Johnny has fucked up the way Johnny's dad fucked up. And now Johnny's trying to make it better, all that. So I literally view it as they're literally recreating it, but within the next generation, while the old generation is standing there watching it happen again. And that's why Daniel even said, because I understand it's happening again. That's my perception of it.
I'd say I don't get why people fucking don't like him, because you have to think, right? Say the character was a real person, right? Yeah. He's not. But you have to think, right? Say the character was a real person. Think about what that kid is going through, right? He doesn't really have a dad, because his dad has been seen to not give an absolute shit about him, right? Yeah. But his mum also doesn't give a shit about him, because she's off and she's getting with a bunch of men, and she's getting drunk, and she's getting high, and she's going on holidays and all that shit, leaving him on his house to fend for himself, basically.
And now she's in rehab.
And then now she's in rehab, but he has his group of mates. Yeah. and his mates are bad. They're a bad influence on him. So he's going after that. And then fucking, but he really loves his mum. But then he goes to see his dad, and he sees his dad with Miguel, and he's like, the fuck? So then, to get back at his dad, obviously he goes to Daniel, but Daniel becomes like a father figure to him.
Yeah.
So then he becomes good. You know what I mean? That's what I really like, is the fact that it's the sort of bad guy going down a bad path, but then he actually becomes really good.
Yeah.
And then shit hits the fan. And then he becomes manipulated and sort of bad again.
I was literally about to say, I think it represents it perfectly. Because obviously they're all 17
Yes.
in the series, so they're teenagers. And it represents it perfectly of how peer pressure and manipulation, what that does to people in general, but especially teenagers, because they feel like they need to live up to the standard. So that's why it shows you them always, like, that's why, sure, after the school fight, sure, Sam went in and everybody was talking about her, and you see he was taking toll, and you're like, see, this shit actually happens. I like the fact that it actually makes it look real, so you're kind of just like, this shit happens in real life. Like, it ain't just a series, this shit happens. But it's like,
Oh, it does.
no, but I understand why a lot of people hate Robbie, but I don't, because I feel it like this, right? I understand if you look at it and you're like, oh, he's an asshole in the series, because that's what I think, but that's what you're supposed to think if you get me. Like, here's the difference. It's like, you know why Johnny in the first movie, he was an asshole, right?
Yeah.
People turn around, even though he was an asshole, but they go, he was an asshole, but I liked him playing that asshole because he fit it perfectly. I like Robbie, he's an asshole, but that's the point, he fits it perfectly. But the thing is, Robbie's good and he's bad. Because like you said perfectly, he's a good guy that's being taught the wrong things as well. Like, he's going down the wrong path, and like, he's bouncing between each thing that happens. And it's good because it's like, it's real character development. Is what I know you love. Yeah. It's real character development. But it's fucking good. Like, but I like Robbie personally. I think he's fucking great. But the thing that annoyed me is I don't want Robbie on Kreese's side. That's the only thing that's annoyed me. I don't want him. I understand why he's on Kreese's side, because like I said, I view it as Robbie is literally Johnny, because it's his son. He's following in his footsteps, getting manipulated by Kreese. But at the same time, it annoyed me because I like Robbie. And in season 4, because you saw at the end of season 3, if you watch Cobra Kai, and anything's being spoiled, you saw it by the title. A lot of spoilers, even though where I said it. Yeah. No, was it? Oh yeah, you saw at the end where Johnny and Daniel joined up at the end.
Yeah.
So it's obviously they're going to go into the tournament and go against Kreese. And it's obvious that the final match is going to be Miguel versus Robbie. And obviously, I want Miguel to win because he's on Daniel and Johnny's side.
Yeah.
And I like Miguel, but I also don't want Robbie to lose, because then you're kind of just like, where does that leave his character? Because I like Robbie. Because it's kind of just like, it puts you in this awkward situation where it's like, Johnny has been good to Miguel. He's treated him like a son. He has tried to be a dad to Robbie, but he fucks it up a lot. So it's kind of just like, if they fight in a public tournament and Miguel beats him, that's basically Daniel beating Johnny again. Where does that leave Robbie? Because Johnny's happy because Miguel won, but then he's sad because his son lost. So you're kind of just like, where does that leave everything? So that's why I'm saying I don't know about this. I want to see what they're going to do in season 4, because I don't know if they do that in the ending. If they end it where Miguel wins and then Robbie's character's kind of just sacked off, it's going to ruin the entire fucking series for me. Because you can't... See, if you keep up a good, consistent thing and then you fuck it with a bad end, you've ruined the whole thing. You need to keep it consistent throughout for it to be legendary. That's why the Karate Kid movies, 1, 2, and 3, they're legendary. You went with 4 was decent, and then you did the remake, and it was shit. They didn't even learn karate. It's called Karate Kid, and they learned Kung Fu. Like, that's where you fell off the cliff. I know a lot of people liked it because they're like, oh, I like Jaden Smith, I like Jackie Chan, and I like them as well. I thought the movie in general was alright, but the fact that you named it a Karate Kid movie was disgusting, because it wasn't.
Yeah, just to get more money and publicity that happened in the 80s. Yeah. No, fucking...
It's like you're trying to... Say you have something... Do you know where you have a pet? No way you always have your favourite pet, and then obviously your pet will pass on at some point. It's like trying to replace that pet. You can't. It's like that thing that's on a monument. That's literally... that's on a pedestal, sorry. That's a pet on a pedestal. And it's like, it's something you can't replace, and they just tried to replace it and like recreate it to make it better, and you're like, well, you feel miserably because nobody wanted a recreation. So
no, it's fair. Like, it's just
yeah.
But fucking, I don't know, cause see the part I liked.
Yeah.
I really of season 3. I loved a lot of season 2. I loved a lot of all the seasons, all the
I
episodes.
loved all of them.
But
Yeah. I can't pick one
so
episode
good.
where I literally sat here and be like, can this end already? But that's like I said. That's why I said, like, I'm a die-hard Karate Kid fan. Like, I will always... The Rockies and Karate Kid I will always be biased towards because Jason showed me them when I was a kid. And obviously I'm biased towards them. So that's why I said there's people that like no Cobra Kai. Because it's a good series, and then there's me and Jason that were like, no, this is literally like this generation's version of our like childhood in a way. So it's kind of like that's why me and Jason are obsessed with it. Like you love it, and then you're obsessed with it. And I think we may have a problem because it's just bad.
Actually, no, that's fair. Like, I loved it whenever fucking was it Kreese? It's the final fight because it's with Kreese and Johnny.
Yes.
And then, but Johnny's on his face or something, and then Kreese is right there, right about to finish him off, and then a hand comes in or something, and then I was like, who the fuck is that? Is that Miguel or some shit? And then it's not, and it's Daniel, and Daniel's just like, you send him to my fucking house or something. Like, he didn't swear, but he was like, you send him to my house, and I was like, oh no, it's Daniel, oh shit! And I was like, oh, it's fucking decent. But I loved it. I was like, I got so hyped during that shit. Because I was like, oh god damn it, it's Daniel and Kreese again, it's gonna be a fight. And it was great.
I literally, I didn't know how I felt about that scene. Because I went through so emotional. I was happy, but I was sad. Because when Daniel took over, I'm like, Daniel, you're cool and all. But I don't fucking want to see you versus Kreese. No offense. I don't care for you versus Kreese. I want to see Johnny versus Kreese. Because there's no proper rivalry between you and actual Kreese. It's between you and what Kreese stands for. It's Johnny and Kreese that have the problem. It's like, would I love to see Daniel kick Kreese's ass? Yeah, that'd be cool. But nowhere near as much as I want to see Johnny kick Kreese's ass, because Johnny has more of a reason. So it's kind of just like, I was like, cool, you stepped in, but fuck off. Now Johnny's back up, fuck off. I want to see them fight. It's like, I do like Daniel, but it's kind of just like, you know what I mean? I want to see Johnny fight Kreese. That's what I'm more invested in, because he is more of a reason to want to beat the living shit out of Kreese. And I also love the way Kreese, it was so true, I love the way Kreese turned around and started talking shit about Miyagi, and Daniel turned around and goes, yeah, well, he kicked your ass more than once. And I'm like, he did? I'm like, he did.
He did.
I love the fact that Kreese is like this loudmouth big ass person. Miyagi's like this little small guy, old, wouldn't do a single thing, but he's just fast as lightning. I love that. I love the patience and the silences. I love Mr. Miyagi.
Oh no, he's dead. He never got touched. Like I watched the third Karate Kid movie, and I was like, right, let's do this shit. Watched it. That fight scene between Terry Silver and Miyagi, like, I was sitting there and I was like, oh my god, Miyagi is not getting touched here. Like, what the fuck is happening? He's just blacking and shit. And it was, oh my god, he's great.
Mr. Miyagi. Great. That's why I said no with the Jackie Chan thing, just before you go on. That's what I'm saying. I like Jackie Chan, but the fact that you tried to replace Mr. Miyagi with Jackie Chan, I didn't like. Like I said, I like him as an actor. He's funny. Like, I like him in Rush Hour and all. But at the same time, you know, you're trying to replace him with somebody who's literally legendary, in my opinion, for, like, movie characters. Like, when you say, like, Karate Kid, sometimes you think of Mr. Miyagi before even Daniel. Because everybody loves Mr. Miyagi. Despite whether you like Daniel or not, or Johnny or whatever, you like Mr. Miyagi because he's fucking awesome.
Oh, he's great. I was nearly tearing up in Karate Kid 3 whenever he said that his heart was empty without Daniel's son, and I was like, oh my god.
What, season 3?
No. Or, sorry, Karate Kid 3?
Oh yeah, the movie, yeah. I thought you were talking about the episode where Daniel goes back to Okinawa and they read Mr. Miyagi's letters.
I tear up in
that was so upsetting. Yeah, I was watching that, and they were reading Mr. Miyagi's letters, and that was so upsetting because you're like, I see Jason's favorite part is the Okinawa part, and I really like the Okinawa part because I just like the way he went back to it, and I like the way he ran into Chosen, because again, me and Jason always wonder whatever happened to Chosen, because like we discussed it. We discussed it, and like Jason said to me, I always wonder what happened to Chosen. Did he continue to be a bad guy? And I said to Jason, I was like, well, I never viewed Chosen as a bad guy. Even in Karate Kid 2, when I watched it for the first time, I never viewed him. There's no way he's the villain. He was the villain, but he wasn't a bad guy. He was just the guy that was fighting for honor, and you disrespected his honor, so now you wanted revenge. I go, that's not a bad guy. That's just the guy that you took something from and he wants it back. Like, if you take something from someone and they have vengeance towards you, you can't blame them. So I was like, I never viewed him as a bad guy. He just took things a bit extreme. But I'm like, he wasn't a bad guy.
Yeah.
And then in, obviously, season 3, you got Chosen, and then I loved that.
You got his honk, he did the honk.
I loved when him and Daniel went, and then Chosen obviously beat him, because you're like, again, Chosen was a better fighter. That's literally, see, Karate Kid is actually the perfect definition of, like, it really does take heart over skill sometimes, because Johnny was a better fighter than Daniel, but Daniel still beat him. Chosen was a better fighter than Daniel, but Daniel still beat him. It's like he beat them because of hard work and motivation over skill. So I'm just realizing now, I'm like, everybody you beat was actually a better fighter than you.
Yeah.
Like, everybody.
Well, I love how Chosen got his wee honk in at the end.
I love that.
I've been waiting for this for such a long time. Honk! I'm like, yes, you did it.
See when he done it. I was like, well, he's obviously not gonna fucking kill him. I was like, I know he's not gonna kill him. I'm like, what is he gonna do? And then as soon as he done the honk, it clicked on me. I'm like, oh my god, you motherfucker! I didn't expect it. I was like, you motherfucker.
Yeah, I was like, oh dude, that's beating the shit. So good.
No, but yeah, the Okinawa part, whenever he was reading the letters from Mr. Miyagi, it was so sad. Like, it was so upsetting. Because it was more upsetting because, like, it was more upsetting for the fact of his character in the series is dead, yeah. But it's like, he couldn't have done Cobra Kai anyway, because he passed away himself. So it's like, it's even more upsetting because you're like, not only has he passed away in this series, but he's passed away in real life, which makes it more upsetting. Because it's not like it's just a fake thing. It would still be upsetting, but it's not like it's just a fake thing, you know what I mean? He did pass away. And it's sad because, like, I think it's better that Mr. Miyagi isn't in Cobra Kai, even if he was alive, because I like the story of he's kind of passed on, and Daniel, like, discovers, like, that's why I said the way Miyagi passed on, and then Chosen showed Daniel, oh, he didn't teach you everything because he didn't teach you this. But I like the story of it, the fact that, like I said, Mr. Miyagi was passed on, and it was focused solely on them. So I don't think Mr. Miyagi would have fit in, but I would have loved to see, obviously, like, I don't know, like, the actual actor's name, I'm sorry, but, like, I would have loved to see what he would have thought of Cobra Kai, because obviously he was the original. He's Mr. fucking Miyagi, like, out of Karate Kid. So I would have loved to see what he would have thought if he had still been alive and seen the Cobra Kai series and seen what he would have thought about, like, them redoing this and all. Because I think he would have liked it.
Oh, he would have, yeah. No, he would have just fucking, because main film everyone likes it, you know. But see, talking about the reboot.
Yeah.
Of the Karate Kid. I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there, but Pick It Up and Put It On has nothing on Wax On, Wax Off. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Wax On.
Has nothing.
Wax Off. No, I just love the way he says. He's like, rotation with the right hand, rotation with the left hand, and he goes wax on, wax off. And then he finally gets done with the cars, and he's like, thank God I'm not doing any more chores. And then he brings him to the fence. He goes up, down. And then, like, whenever you first watch Karate Kid, like, no, whenever you're younger, when you first watch it, you're like, this guy's just taking advantage of him, getting him to do, like, his chores. And then he said, he goes, you haven't taught me anything. He goes, okay. He goes, right. He puts his hands up and he goes, wax on, and he throws the punch, he blocks it, wax off, he blocks the punch, and then he goes up, goes down, and then you're sitting there as a kid amazed, like, oh my god, he did teach him something the whole time, and we were completely oblivious.
No.
Like, as a kid, you're like, oh, let's just get them to do his chores. And then that happens, you're like, oh my god, this guy's a fucking genius. I'm like, he's a genius.
I'm sitting there like, yo, it's sick. I actually love the callback in that. I think, it's in season 1 where Miguel is sitting there and he's doing the windows for Johnny. And then he goes, yo, Sensei. And he says, like, yo, Sensei, is there any particular method you want me to use doing this? And he just looks at it like, nah, I don't give a shit. And he just goes down and reads his
He goes, no, I don't give a shit, just
like,
clean
yes.
the window.
I'm just like, oh, that's so sick, because you can see how differently that they were taught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
it's great.
I like the way, no, actually, I'll wait till with the next part when we'll come back, because it'll be more of a 5-minute discussion. But, I'll finish it off quickly here, because, like, it's more about Kreese in season 3, but I'll wait till after. Yeah, no, I liked season 3. Like I said, I wanted it to end after season 3 because I didn't want them to drag it out. But by the way they done it, I'm happy for season 4. But I hope they end it after season 4 because I don't want them. Me and Jason were talking about this, and I said I don't want them dragging it out. I said, like the Fast and Furious movies, I love the Fast and Furious movies, right? Love them. But I understand, like I've said a million times, I understand why Vin Diesel's making 10 because he wants to keep the promise to Paul Walker, which is understandable. If you want to keep that promise, you make 10. I'm going to watch them regardless. But if you'd have ended it after number 7, it would have been perfect because that's the way it was. Like I said, I understand he's going to make 10. I respect that because he made a promise. But if you'd ended after number 7, Fast and Furious would be more legendary because you weren't dragging it out. Now, because you've done everything, you're dragging it out, and you've done every possible thing, and now you have to find new things, which is hard because you've done everything. So I don't want them doing that with Cobra Kai. You know what I mean? I want them. No, I want, like I said, season 3. I want Terry Silver and Mike Barnes to come in, which I'll talk to you after. Why I think that it's a high chance. I want them to come in. And the tournament, but I want to see Johnny versus Kreese one last time because we've seen it twice now, and Johnny has won twice, right? I don't care what it was. He's won twice, and the only reason that he got knocked down in the end is because he showed mercy. In general, he won twice. The only reason he got knocked to the floor is because he showed mercy. If he didn't show mercy, he would have won. And understand if he doesn't show mercy and breaks his arm, he turns in the Kreese. So you don't want him to do that. But I just want to see him beat his ass next time to the point where he doesn't have to show no mercy. Like he just beats him and then Kreese accepts the fact, right? Fuck off. Kreese just accepts the fact, fuck off. Like that's all I want. I just want Johnny to kick his ass again.
Shit, it wasn't that like the makers or something, like the directors or whatever you call them, have actually said that they're going to do a season after season 4.
I hope not. It's like, see for a lot of people saying, oh, I would love more seasons. Clearly you've never had something that you love stretched out too long. Because you'd understand what I mean. It's like the Karate Kids. You had 3 of them and then it went on to girls. Say there was a 4th one with Daniel Miyagi. It wouldn't have been as good. That's why Miyagi trained a girl in the 4th one. Because if it had been Daniel in the 4th one, it would have been boring. She's like, I've seen this shit 3 times before. And that's why they stopped it perfectly. You know what I mean? The Rockies, the Friday the 13th, they dragged it out to 10. They dragged it out. The Halloweens, I think they have like 9 or something now. They're dragging it out. The fucking Child's Plays, I like the new ones, but...
Yeah. Some, your camera cut off, but Some and Bride suck. Or Seed and Bride suck. Yes.
Alright. Alright, so you said off podcast you had a question for me about Terry Silver.
No, it wasn't about Terry Silver, it was about season 3.
You said Terry Silver, but go ahead.
Did I say Terry Silver? I just meant in
you
general,
sorry. You said Terry Silver, so you must have made a mistake, but yeah, go ahead. What's the question?
Yeah, I made a mistake. I was just wondering about characters, right? In the whole show. Out of all of the characters in the whole show, what one is your favourite?
Johnny. There's no hesitation. Johnny.
Fair point.
In the Karate Kid movies, Daniel's my favourite. In Cobra Kai, Johnny is my favourite. Because they're both the heroes.
Okay, I'll change the question then. Out of all the like teenage kids, what one's your favourite?
That's a hard question. Because I like them all for different things. It's a hard
You know,
question because no, but I'm gonna say like why I like Miguel because Miguel's like the good guy.
Yes.
That was led wrongly. I like Robbie because he's like I don't know, he's just an asshole, but I like him as an asshole. And like he's basically he's Johnny. That's what I'm saying. And then I like Sam.
Yeah.
I like whatchamacallit, Hawk or Hawkeye or whatever as well, but not as much as them three. I
Yeah.
don't know. Fuck. It is hard. 'Cause
Dimitri.
It's between. I love Dimitri. He's fucking
Dimitri's
hilarious.
cool.
But it's between Miguel and Robbie.
Fair enough.
It's between Miguel and Robbie because I like Sam and all as well, but it's between Miguel and Robbie. But I like Miguel, but I like Robbie. I'm on Miguel's side because he's fighting for Johnny. But that doesn't mean I like Robbie any less than him. If you get me, I'm just
I know.
I'm not cheering for necessarily because I'm not cheering like I prefer Miguel, but I'm cheering for the fact of Johnny and Daniel are on Miguel's side, so I'm going to cheer. Like
Yeah.
there's no way in hell I'm cheering for Kreese. Like
Oh no, fuck,
so-
100%.
so I was like, I don't know. Why? Who's your favorite?
Hawk.
I know.
Do you know
prefer
why?
him more than like Robbie and Miguel and all?
Yes. Do you know why?
Why?
Character development. That is why. Like I love Robbie's character development, but see Hawk's character development, it just shifts like completely, because like he goes from like that scrawny little kid, you know, to then getting some confidence, and then he's a huge dick, and he's just an asshole completely. But then the third season, in the spoiler alert, because I've already said spoilers. But then in the third season, he's sitting there and he's looking at everyone, and then this was a point, and it was like, fucking Kyler, the guy who used to bully him, who was a complete asshole to him, literally is like high-fiving him and shit, and he's being his mate, and he's like, the fuck is this? But then he sees his actual mate getting beat up, and his arm was up and everything, but then he just runs, he jump kicks him, and then he flips the guy over into the fucking thing, and I'm like, oh my god, you're sick.
I literally, whenever I saw, I already knew. See, after the couple times after he broke Dimitri's arm, you could see in his face the regret. I literally said to myself, he's going by the end of the season to be on Johnny and Daniel's side. I'm like, there ain't no way because he feels bad, so he's not a bad guy. If you get me, he's just being wrongly led. So I'm like, he's going to be in Daniel's Johnny's side, 100%, and he was in the end. I'm like, is that fucking it? I fucking know.
Exactly. He is literally the living embodiment of there are no bad students, only bad teachers, because he was sort of a dick, kind of, whenever he was being taught by Johnny, but that's because, you know, Johnny taught him
wrong.
basically no mercy and all that stuff, and Johnny's
Johnny-
a dick anyways. But
Johnny, like, Johnny, it's not the fact Johnny taught him wrong. He just didn't give enough shits because he had more things to focus on. He only did the karate class because he needed money. That's the point. He didn't give shits, and then whenever he did, but also at the same time, right? You said Johnny taught him wrong because Johnny's a dick, but that also
I said
goes
Johnny's
against.
a dick.
Yeah, you said Johnny. You said he was taught wrong by Johnny, and Johnny's a dick.
I didn't say he was taught wrong by Johnny, I just says he was taught by Johnny. Johnny's a dick. I
But
said
you
he was
did-
a dick. But he
you
was taught by
said-
Johnny. So he's a dick.
So yes, so you literally just agreed with what I said.
But I didn't say he was taught wrong, though.
If you're taught to be a dick, you're taught wrong shit.
Okay, fair point. He was taught wrong by Johnny because
Right.
Johnny's a dick. Yeah.
But you saying that is also wrong in itself because at the same time, Johnny is only going off things that he's being taught.
Exactly.
So
Bad
at the
teachers.
same time, yeah, exactly. Like at the same
just
time,
freeze.
Johnny's technically not a bad teacher because he never was the teacher in the first place because he didn't teach his way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He didn't
I
teach
get
his
it.
way, so he was not a bad teacher. He was because that's all he knew was what Kreese taught him, which was the wrong thing. But he didn't know anything else because Miss Miyagi taught Daniel, so Daniel knew about respect, discipline. Johnny didn't know
Right,
that. Johnny just knew go for them, and if you have a chance to finish them, finish them.
Exactly. No, that's it. Like I love it. I loved it whenever Hawk was in there, and I can't remember his name. I think it's Buck or something like that. It's a big fat dude, and then it was literally like he wasn't even beating him up just to beat him up. He was beating him up to send a message to Kyler. So he was, and then like Kreese didn't even get the finish him, and he was
Oh, yeah.
just in. So he was.
Beat the shit out of him.
Oh yeah, and then like Kreese immediately knew what was happening whenever he told the guys to put down the fucking flags. Like he was like, he's gonna go in, and then he takes off his shirt, and you always see it's a big hawk. Then he turns round, and you see the old moon tattoo is now a fucking Grim Reaper with a scythe, and you're like, oh damn, he is fucking sick.
Yeah.
That's why he's my favorite. He's so sick. Like he's great. He is
No,
decent.
yeah, and then the thing I wanted to talk about quickly,
Yes.
I'll go over was Kreese. The thing I liked, see in season 3, at any point did you cheer for Kreese?
In season.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember cheering for no. Oh no, wait.
I did.
Whenever he, whenever he was in the old flashback scenes actually, and then whenever he was fucking, he gave him back his, what do you call it? No, this is season 2 actually. I'm thinking, but he gave him back his whole thing in season 2, and I was like, maybe you should give him a second chance. But then in the old flashbacks,
You're part of the problem, shit. You believe, Kreese, you're a part of the problem.
Exactly.
You should
He gave him back a second place
No.
trophy, bro. He gave him back a second place trophy. I was like, maybe he's changed.
Fuck off. That just shows.
Crazy never changes.
That just shows I'm a bigger fan of the fact I'm like, he would never change. Like, maybe he's changed. Liar! No,
It's an opinion.
no, but yeah, no, Kreese. What I really liked about season 3 is it showed you that it's like, right, Robbie is becoming an asshole because he was taught badly and everybody was an asshole to him, including his dad. Johnny was taught to be an asshole because his dad and everybody else was an asshole, and Kreese treated him like shit, basically.
Yeah.
Now you see what it all, because you're like, it all stemmed from Kreese. No matter what it was, the root of the problem was always Kreese. You're like, but why was Kreese such an asshole? And then it shows you Vietnam, and then it shows you why Kreese is such an asshole, because you see another part in the diner when he's cleaning, and then the jocks. When I got that flashback originally, you would have assumed Kreese was one of the jocks. Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's what Jason said to me. He goes, you would have assumed Kreese was one of the jocks, and then they go out the back, and obviously the jock hits the girl, and Kreese beats the living shit out of him, and you're like, I never thought in my entire life I would be cheering for Kreese for a single second. And then he goes to the army. And then, the fucking army sergeant is a fucking cunt. He's just an asshole. He's just a fucking cunt. And, like, whenever they were all locked in, at the same time, I was like, I've cheered for Kreese, but I don't want to cheer for him because I know what he becomes. And then, whenever they're walking up the ramp to fight each other, and the army guy goes, yeah, by the way, your girl died so many weeks ago. Yeah, but I didn't tell you because she's already dead, so who cares? And you could see Kreese's face. I'm like, right, I have never thought I'd say this, but Kreese, kick his fucking ass. I'm like, I never thought I'd say this. Kreese, kick his fucking ass. I love... This sounds bad. See when the army guy's hanging over and they don't need to fight anymore, and Kreese could easily help him up. I'm glad Kreese kicked him down. I don't care. A lot of people would have been like, oh, you should have helped him out. I don't care. I'm glad Kreese kicked him down. Fuck him.
And I was sitting there and I was thinking, is that why they called it Cobra Kai then? Because of all the cobras.
I noticed that whenever he fell into the snake pit, I'm like, snakes, yeah. I'm like, no,
I'm like, is that symbolism or is that why it's called Cobra Kai? I don't know.
It probably plays a part in it. But, I really like the fact they did the backstory of Kreese and they showed you that he wasn't just... Because it's like nobody is born... It's like nobody is born to be racist. Nobody is born to be religious. You know what I mean? You're a product of your environment. You grow into what you've been taught through your kid years. So it's like, if your mom or dad's an asshole, you're going to grow up to be an asshole. If your mom and dad's racist, you're going to grow up to be racist. You're a product of your environment. That's why I'm saying, like, that's why we both agreed it's the teacher who matters. You students, maybe they won't listen from time to time, but if you're a good teacher, you will get your way through them. But it's like, if you teach them wrongly, then they're a product of their environment. They're going to turn out to be an asshole like you were. So it's like, it was good to see, because you're always like, why is Kreese such an asshole? Like, why is he like this? And then you see why he's like that. And then to move on to the next part, Terry Silver, you watch season 3 and you watch Karate Kid 3. The one that said, did you click on, because obviously Terry Silver's going to be in season 4. It's obvious. Did you click on what he said to Kreese to give away his character? Because see when you originally watched it, because you knew, obviously you watched Karate Kid 3 after, but see from the very start, if you watched Karate Kid 3 first, you would have assumed Terry Silver would have been, the guy with the ponytail, the loud one.
Yeah.
You would have assumed that was Terry Silver, right? That's the one. When I first saw him, like, that's Terry Silver. He's the ponytail. He looks like him, and he's loud
And then he fucking dies.
And then you're like, yeah, he dies, and you're like, wait, how's he die if that's supposed to be Terry Silver? And then you see that Terry Silver's the really fucking quiet, shit-scared one, and you're like, what? You're like, Terry Silver in Karate Kid 3 is the most mentally unstable fuck. now you understand why he's mentally unstable, but you're like, he's the second most vicious fuck next to Kreese. You're like, what? And then, but did you catch on what he said to Kreese to give away who he was as a character?
What, in the flashback scene?
Yeah.
Yeah,
whenever they escape the
I
cage.
owe you one.
Yes.
For
And
the rest of
in
your life.
Karate Kid 3, he mentions it. He turns and goes, I always told you, I owe you one.
Yeah.
He literally says, I always told you, I owe you one. And you're like, as soon as he said that, because Jason said to me, Jason watched first, he goes, when he says a certain line, you'll know who Terry Silver is. And he said it, and I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, that's Terry Silver. You're like, because I always assumed Terry Silver was always a cop, but you're like, this really shows Kreese and Terry Silver were not bad people before that. And then Vietnam changed them.
Cause sure, fucking, I texted you whenever I was like 9 or something minutes into watching it, and I was like, I think I have it down, but I'm not too sure, but I think this is it. And I was like, yeah, this is it. But nah, fuck. Because I always wondered who he phoned, and I was like, I have no idea who he's phoning. But then, I don't know. And then whenever Daniel said that, because obviously I'd never seen Karate Kid 3 before that, whenever Daniel said he used to be a Cobra Kai, I was like, what? I didn't know this shit. What the fuck was this? And then I played the flashback scene of him and Terry Silver, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
So.
No, but obviously you know who Mike Barnes is as well then.
Yes.
And this is what me and Jason think's going to happen. Well, we already know. It's already obvious Terry Silver is going to be in season 4. It's obvious. Mike Barnes, there's been no confirm that he's in it, but when he was asked in an interview, or when, I can't remember if it was Mike Barnes, I think it was actually one of the directors. One of the directors or whatever was asked, will Mike Barnes be in season 4? And he goes, you'll just have to find out. But he smiled, and you're like, he's going to be in season 4. You can just tell by his smile, you're like, he doesn't want to say it, but he's basically giving you the indication, like, hell yeah, he is. he's giving you the indication, hell yeah, he is.
Like, you know it, but it's like...
And, like, I just can't wait, because it's like, see, it's weird, because it's going to be Kreese, Terry Silver, and Mike Barnes. That's 3 versus Johnny and Daniel. And you're like, the only person that's missing is Chosen. And Jason was saying this to me. He said, do you know why Daniel said, I have my own problems going at the minute? No, some beefs never die or some shit like that. And Chosen goes, what do you mean? Jason said, if he had told Chosen, do you think he would have went back and out with them? And I said, no, not really. Because Chosen's this guy that, he's a man of honor. He will only fight when he needs to fight. And I said, if he went back and started fighting people that he doesn't even know, that kind of just ruins the whole fighting for honor. I said, so I don't think, I'm glad he didn't tell Chosen. I said, because if they had brought back Chosen, I go, if he fought, even though Daniel, they're all good now, I said, if he had fought someone that he doesn't even know the backstory to, that ruins the fighting for honor, in my opinion. So I said, I'm glad they got that part with Chosen done, because I really enjoyed that. But now it's like Johnny versus that, and obviously it's going to be them 3 versus Johnny and Daniel. But at the same time, obviously we all know the end of the tournament's going to be Robbie versus Miguel. We know that. But what happens, because I assume Miguel's going to win, or they might do a plot twist that Robbie wins. And it's like, this is what I was actually thinking, they might do a plot twist where Robbie wins, and it's basically this, say Robbie wins, and as he wins, it will show you flashbacks, as if Johnny won.
Oh,
I'm going to, it's either Miguel's going to win, or Robbie's going to win, and it's going to show you, like, side by side, like, things of, like, what if Johnny actually beat Daniel? Would he have went on, blah, blah, and I think it's going to show you that if Robbie wins. But after all of that, because we all know that that's going to happen, you're like, what happens with Kreese and Johnny? I want to see, because obviously Mike Barnes, Terry Silver's fucking wired up, so he's obviously going to try and get under their skin.
Yeah.
And I assume because Johnny only really has beef with Kreese, so it's like Johnny's main enemy is Kreese. Daniel's enemies are Terry Silver and Mike Barnes. So it's like, is season 3 going to focus on Daniel and Johnny both training the kids, but Daniel's being harassed by Silver and Mike Barnes, and Johnny's being harassed by solely Kreese? Because Kreese is the worst at a lot, but I'm like, is it going to focus on that? Where, do you know why they fucked with Johnny for a bit, and then they started fucking with Daniel because they broke into his house and started beating people up? I'm like, is Kreese going to say to Terry Silver and Mike Barnes, I'm going to put yous two in charge of, this is what I think's going to happen. He's like, I'm going to put yous two in charge of LaRusso, but see, Lawrence, he's mine, leave him to me. I think that's what Kreese is going to do. He's like, you should take charge of LaRusso, but Lawrence is mine. I think that's what literally going to happen. But I'm kind of just like, I just don't know how it will end. I don't know how they could end it. Because obviously the good guys win. But it's like, Kreese didn't fuck off last time the good guys won. He just came back. So I'm going to get rid of him this time. Like,
I don't know. I think...
throw him in prison. He's a fucking lunatic.
I think that Cobra Kai is going to jump Hawk. That's a prediction.
They're gonna what?
Jump Hawk. So they're gonna go and beat him up.
Yes, actually, I thought you meant jump him as like jumpstart his character, like throw him further.
No, jump him
definitely...
like as in beat the shit out of him because he left.
I mean, they can try. He was the best student aside the girl in Cobra Kai after like Miguel when Kreese took over.
Tori.
He was the best student aside Tori in Cobra Kai. So.
That's
the other thing. Do you know how weird it is? I see Tori and I'm like, her character's badass. I love her character, but I'm like, I literally remember watching you in Jessie. This is very strange. I went from watching you in Jessie, which is on the Disney Channel, to seeing you kick the shit out of people and want to break people's arms and hurt people.
Dude, I'm like, I remember watching you in Diary of a fucking Wimpy Kid, bro.
Yes, like, she was in that as well. Like,
yeah.
Dude, did you ever watch Jessie?
This badass, sexy ass ninja, fucking you.
Did you ever watch Jessie though?
Nah.
It was Debbie Ryan was in it. She was the main one, but it's like she was in that, and it's like you go from watching these people as Disney characters to this. It's like Jake Paul. Jake Paul was on the Disney Channel. He's an asshole then, but now you look at him now, he's literally anti-Disney. Like he's the definition of what Disney do not want.
Oh yeah.
So it's like it's such a career change, but it was a good career change. But it's weird looking at them. But I definitely think they'll try and jump Hawk. I don't think they will be successful. I'll call it now. They'll try to jump Hawk, like you said. Hawk will beat them up a little bit, and then they'll get the advantage on him because they have numbers. He'll stand his ground, and then somebody will hit him with like a sneaky shot, and then they'll get him.
Yeah.
They'll beat him up.
Or either he gets put in a hospital. And then he doesn't want to join the final fight because he knows what they're about and he knows what they're like. Or, and then he does go to the final fight. Or in the fight, or say as he gets jumped, like Dimitri helps him and Dimitri saves him and all that. And they both beat them all up. Or he goes back to Cobra Kai. There's many possibilities.
I don't think he'd go back to Cobra Kai. That would be a big mistake, in my opinion, for them to go back to Cobra Kai because it's just resetting what he's already done. But
I know.
I think where I call obviously final match Miguel versus Robbie. There'll be Sam versus Tori, and then Hawk versus that guy that used to bully him. It'll be Hawk versus him.
Tyler, the Asian one, or the big fat one?
Yeah. The Asian one, yeah. The one that used to bully him. I think it'll be Hawk versus him, Sam versus Tori, Miguel versus Robbie. Dimitri, I don't know. I don't know who Dimitri is. I don't think Dimitri will win this fight. I'm sorry. Like, do you know way obviously even in Karate Kid movies, like some of the good guys need to lose because if all the good guys won every round, it's obvious they're going to win. So you need to give some rounds to the bad guys to make it competitive and interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he's going to be one of those ones to lose. I think Hawk will win. Sam, I think, will win. And then, like I said, that means if Miguel wins, the good guys win. But if Robbie wins, well, then it's evened out. And they'll probably, fall into the story of reflecting that. What if Daniel won?
No,
or actually, one thing that's actually clicked in my head. If Robbie is beating Miguel and he has the chance and Kreese says finish him, like Daniel did, in the way Daniel took the cheap shot to Daniel's leg. I mean, Johnny took the cheap shot to Daniel's leg. If he says finish him, No, actually, no, it wasn't even fucking him. But like, yeah, no, if Kreese says, take the cheap shot, Robbie could literally be standing there and refuse to take the cheap shot at that point. And then maybe Miguel wins because Robbie didn't show mercy after Miguel did. Yeah. Maybe this time Robbie will show mercy and Miguel won't. And then something will happen and Miguel will know how Robbie felt by making a mistake making a decision in the moment that wasn't the right decision.
Yeah.
I'm really thinking about this. Like, every time I say something, a new ending comes to mind. I just hope the end's good. That's all I want. I just hope the ending's good. That's all I want.
Oh, it doesn't leave us on a fucking cliffhanger for 2 years.
I don't want another fucking season. I want it to end after this. I don't want them to drag it out. See if you can do something that guarantees you will not ruin the season and there is a bit more of a story. Fine, do a season 5, but I do not want a season 6. Season 5 I will settle for if you have no good enough story. But if you're telling me you're going to do season 6, I'm not interested because you're going to ruin it, and I can promise you that. I know because Fast and Furious has done it. Their movies aren't as good as the old ones. Everything does it. Karate Kid, like I said, the Karate Kid, the Walking Dead. The Walking Dead, I never liked it, but it was a very big thing. Everybody says it's ruined because they dragged it out. That's the point. No matter how good something is, if you milk it enough, it's gonna get dry. That's the point. Right. I don't want them to ruin it. So season 5, if you have a good enough story, fair enough, but do not do fucking season 6. And I guarantee you I'm not the only person who thinks that. I'd rather you finish it at 5 and then I can go over the five seasons whenever I want. But
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, those are the things. Holy shit, it's 22 minutes into the second part. So we'll have to end in a few minutes.
That's all right.
But yeah, so we'll probably have to wait another year. This is your first time waiting for another year with Cobra Kai. But you know what? See, whenever the new season comes out, now you're going to understand how I felt twice before this and not feeling it. I don't have patience. And then also as well, like, I had to wait a year between the seasons and I have to wait probably another year. 13 Reasons Why, you know how that felt because you were a fan of that. You had to wait a bit. Stranger Things, the new season's coming out in August, I believe, which I'm excited for. I can't wait for the cliffhanger at the end of Stranger Things has me fucking going mad. I'm like, I want answers. But
I have never seen an episode of that.
I said I don't know if you'd like it, but you might as well give it a try. Even if you don't like it, that's fair enough, but you might as well give it a try. Because I didn't think I'd like it. I looked at it and I was like, I won't like that. I watched it and it's really fucking good. Like I said, you may not like it, but it doesn't hurt giving it a try because, like, there's so many martial art movies I told you about originally, and you would have never watched them. But I told you and I showed you, and you became interested in them, like exactly. And all. You had no interest in them. I showed you them and goes, "What do you think?" You're like, "No, they look awesome." I'm like, "Exactly," because at least you tried a bit of them by at least watching the trailer.
Yeah, dude, he beats them up in the fucking bathroom, like all 8 of them.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you may like Stranger Things, but even if you don't, that's fair enough. But you may like it and it may give you a season. But and then Sex Education's coming out on the 17th, I think, which I can't wait because that shit's hilarious.
Never seen it.
It's literally about teenagers. The main kid's mum is a sex therapist. He knows all about this. Then there's the girl, which he likes, and they join forces and they charge students to give them sexual ed advice. But it's funny, it's a comedy. Like, they literally charge students to give them sexual ed advice, and there's a lot of like sex scenes and like sexual references. And it's literally just like this whole thing. It's like about teenagers experiencing sex, but it's done in such a humorous way. It's great. Like, I find it hilarious. Katie loves it. I love it. It's fucking hilarious.
So that's why I think you pervert. Nice.
No, but it is very fucking funny. It is very funny. I think you'd like that as well. But yeah.
No, sure.
So yes, Cobra Kai developers. You're not gonna watch this. I'm gonna say it anyway. Don't take it here, please. if you want me to stay in the house and not spread COVID, bring it out.
Episodes.
That's what I also like about Cobra Kai. They don't drag it out within the series. They have 10 episodes and they're not all like an hour long. I like that. They don't drag it out. Because see, when I see an episode that's an hour long, even if I'm fully invested, I'm like, that's an hour. It's a long time.
An hour of my fucking time.
Yeah. It's like, that's an hour. So, but yeah, no, we'll call it there. So yes, we're both excited for the next season of Cobra Kai.
Yes.
I can't wait. It better not take long. But yeah. There's no questions this week because we're focusing solely on that. But
Cobra Kai.
yeah. But yes, as always, do you have anything else to say before we stop?
Watch Cobra Kai if you haven't.
I improve this message. But yeah, I've been Undisputed. That's been Shay. Like I said, hope you all are thinking positive, testing negative. Hope you all are staying safe. And yeah, like I said, I've been Undisputed. That's been Shay. This was our Cobra Kai TED Talk. And we'll see you in the next one. We'll see you in the next one. So peace.
Peace.